Awesome. All right. Welcome to Witch Finger Horror Podcast.
Woo!
Cheers, everybody.
Virtual.
Cheers. The virtual edition.
Cheers all around.
What I did on my quarantine
Right up the
vacation.
Oh, you got like 2 drinks going, Morgan.
Yeah, well, I figured, you know what? I didn't want to have to get up because, like, this is kind of like no, you're not not allowed to make any mistakes here.
Just let me pour myself a nice cozy mug of beer.
Pour yourself another drink, lady.
Fuck yeah.
So we have had a lot of requests from our listeners to release something during this pandemic, and we figured a little Zoom party will be sufficient and adequate enough to keep everybody entertained for now, and we've finally mastered the technology.
We have mastered technology. It hasn't just been all beers and bad movies this whole time. We've been working towards something.
That's
Morgan
funny.
joining us from hell today.
Right?
Thanks for tuning in, Morgan.
I'm in hell, help me.
How's the weather down there?
Come to daddy.
I was trying to think of like a good background, but like this was the best one.
Oh, of course. Yeah, well, so despite from like what's happening in the world right now, like we can't really be physically together, so we're not releasing regular episodes, like full episodes on one particular movie, our regular routines. So we decided to do a little minisode. Rando, Pando is what it's called, and we're just gonna like fucking chat and have some beers and discuss stuff we've been doing and stuff we've been reading and stuff we've been watching recently, and
stuff we've been drinking,
so
which that's happened a lot.
What'd you say?
I said stuff we've been drinking because that's been a lot.
Or smoking.
Yeah, that too.
Well, fuck, yeah.
Oh my god, okay. Guys, yesterday I just gotta tell you about my like stoner experience. So I smoked a bunch of weed, I got really high, and I got fucking Uber Eats McDonald's, and I got a McFlurry and an apple pie, and I smashed the apple pie into the McFlurry.
Wait,
and
what
ate
kind
that
of McFlurry
shit.
did you get?
What kind of McFlurry?
Yeah, what kind of McFlurry was it?
Oh, it was Oreo cookie.
So wait a minute, you crushed an apple pie into an Oreo McFlurry?
Oh, I fucking did.
You're like,
that is like
on a different plane.
It was like next level. It was so fucking good. I was like, this is everything, because it was like, apple pie and like ice cream kind of go together, right? Like people put ice cream beside their apple pie, but it like melted it a little bit, and it was like the crispiness and the apple.
I feel like that was like your Harold and Kumar moment.
Oh, it totally was.
Like
it
your
totally
White
was.
Castle fucking journey.
Yeah, like we've reached new levels with this quarantine.
You should have like
thing.
a blog, like a stoner's recipe blog.
Yeah.
Fuck, there are so many like stoner cook things on the internet right now. And Morgan, I think it'd be groundbreaking because half of them are fucking shit garbage. It's people trying to make weed healthy. I don't want healthy weed. I want to get high, and then I want to eat like
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like why don't they do apple pie McFlurries as it is anyways? Like just take like the cold ones and like, they like.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing that this is being recorded, because if they do that, then you should get a partial earning.
Yeah. Mark my words.
That's right.
I want some royalties.
You came up with it first.
A penny for every fucking apple pie McFlurry sold. I'll be rich.
That's a fucking ton of holy shit.
It would be.
Rich, bitch.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a parsnip? So let's talk about the movies that we've been watching. Who wants to go first?
I don't know.
I can go first if no one wants
go first.
Please. So for everyone who doesn't know, I've also been like working a ton actually. So I haven't had quite as much free time as these women have. But
these women.
Yes.
These women. But like after work, I haven't been going out. So after work, Dave and I will watch a few things. What I really want to fucking talk to you guys about, because we don't have very long, is Brightburn. So I just bought it. I just fucking bought it for Dave before we had even watched it. First of all, it's James Gunn.
Okay.
Who I had no idea had any sort of affiliation with it. So immediately when I saw that, I was like, I have a little bit more respect for the idea of this movie. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's like literally the Superman story. So a family finds a spacecraft with an infant in it.
Oh,
take
okay.
That home,
that's cool.
Right? Raise it as their own. And then it's a flip story. So instead of being, like the Superman good guy, the kid is like, I'm fucking powerful and I'm angry and I'm going to fuck shit up.
Ooh.
And I love that idea. I fucking love the idea for the story. It's never been done before. And it's such a simple idea. How has it never been done before?
Yeah, well, because like you'd think that Superman, he wouldn't be like, I want to save everybody. If it was me, I'd be like, fuck, I want to kill everybody. Look at my amazing power.
The fucking gore in this movie. Let me just start by telling you guys, the kills in this movie, like Dave and I were not expecting them. And so the very first kill is like a shocker. Like it's really, really disturbing and disgusting the way this child chooses to kill people. And then that's another horror lover's dream. Like a child killer who's not like the Omen or like one of these like Village of the Damned children that we're all so used to seeing in horror. It was like this superhero kid. And anyways, when I posted it in my stories after, I got a lot of criticism about the movie from people being like, there was no backstory. Why didn't they tell us, what planet he came from or this or that or the other thing? And I thought about it, for a few days because that's the kind of impact this movie had on me. So I thought about it for a few days and I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think that the lack of a backstory is
sorry, keep going.
Is what I enjoyed so much about it.
Yeah.
Because if you're a lover of anything to do with children,
you're asking the wrong people, but sure.
I've never heard of this, but when you were talking about having like a lack of a backstory, a lot of books are written like that to cause, like the imagination of the reader to thrive.
But this is exactly what I'm trying to say. I mean, like the more I thought about it, the more I realized I think the main reason I really loved it is because when you love children's stories and children's books and stuff like that, it's all imagination. No one said, it's very, where did this come from? And then once we answer the first question, children don't care. Where'd Cinderella get her dress? The fairy godmother. Oh, okay. Duh, the fairy godmother.
Yeah, it's magic. Right? Who cares?
Don't go, well, where'd the fairy godmother come from? And where'd her, like, kids don't care.
Yeah.
No one cares.
So the story,
where'd he come from? Space. Period. Right? Period.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't care that there wasn't more him going through this emotional, like, oh, I'm a superhero. And he found out he was a superhero. He instantly knew he was going to kill people. And I loved it.
That's awesome.
I love
watch it.
Is it on? Yeah, I'll have to check it out for sure.
You can borrow it. I bought it.
Oh, okay.
Michael Rooker makes an appearance in it.
Hey.
Is the lead, and we love Elizabeth Banks. Like, we love her.
Yeah.
She's
James Gunn is great. Like, James Gunn started out with Trauma, and then there was all that commotion with Disney. And then
when he stopped, when he wasn't allowed to direct anymore. Yeah,
and then they hired him back because everybody fucking lost their shit. But I enjoy James Gunn. That's really interesting. I've never even heard of it, so thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah, well, who's in it? I don't know, Morgan. I don't think you've ever seen The Office, have you?
I mean,
she has to.
I am aware of it.
Dude, you have to watch at least like the first.
Guys, I just can't do comedy. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about? You love comedy.
So I know, but
Madison.
I know.
So
that's a lie. You love comedy.
I have to be in a certain mood for it.
Yeah.
Roy is the dad in the movie. So Roy is Pam's first fiance who turns out to be crazy in the office, whatever. But he's the dad in it, and to see him play such like a burly, sexy, manly role where he wasn't a piece of shit. I mean, he fucking dies.
That's cool.
Like, spoiler alert.
It's one of those movies where everyone dies. And like,
I like those though.
That. Yeah. I love like morose stories. Like I haven't really been, to be honest, I've been kind of neglecting my tapes lately. Like I actually haven't really been watching a lot of movies. I've been reading a lot more, and just reading a lot of like really sad stories. Like Megan, like you lent me a Stephen King anthology book, and like I've been reading a lot of like Richard Matheson, like the guy who wrote I Am Legend, and most of his stories, like anything that has like a sad or morose ending, I admire more, which kind of makes sense if you're a horror fan, because a lot of horror movies like have like, you know, a sad ending.
Yeah, who likes like loose ends that are all tied up in a pretty fucking bow at the end, and it's like, man, everybody lived happily ever after. That's for fucking Disney. It's like, I agree with that, because I appreciate the, you know, something that's kind of like, wow, it leaves you hanging and then you're like left kind of empty. And it makes you think, makes you to continue to think after the movie's done, like about what lessons may have been learned or what could have happened or whatever. You know, when they tie it up in a nice pretty bow at the end, it's kind of just like, well, that was a movie.
It's like if you feel like redeemed at the end of the movie, like sure, okay. But if you are perplexed and confused at the end of it, and it makes you think about it for hours on end after you finished watching.
Like I was thinking about it.
Story writing did its job much better.
Mm.
I haven't honestly lately I've just been kind of watching a lot of like older movies, like classics. I've been wanting to rewatch the Bond movies.
Right.
And, I've kind of like, I love the Daniel Craig ones. Like the newer Casino Royale is such a fucking good movie, and it's stated as like one of the top 5s of the James Bond like world. But I started watching like a lot of older stuff like that I've neglected in my life that were considered classics. Like for example, like I cannot believe that I've never seen American Gigolo. Like Richard Gere blew my mind in that movie. Like that movie was so fucking good. The way you know, because his dick is in it. That's why you're laughing. But yeah, like
whoa, stop.
Megan's like, back it up.
Rewind. like ball sack? Like Shaft, like Tip?
Shaft, like not ball sack, because it's kind of, I thought you've seen American Gigolo,
yeah,
Megan.
but I don't,
Is it in shadows? Like, we need to know the details.
He's standing in a bedroom where there are blinds in the bedroom, and I don't know what it is about like shadows that come from blinds that I love so much, but that's the image. It's him like standing in front of the blinds with like the shadows of like the lines like on his body. So you just see kind of like a wang.
Right. But if you pause it, you can see it. Right?
You don't even have to do that, actually, because like he just stands there naked for like at least like a full like 6 seconds.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome. But yeah, like I've been kind of neglecting my tapes and just watching a lot of like older stuff and like kung fu. Like I recently watched Cruising with Al Pacino and directed by William Friedkin, the guy who directed The Exorcist.
He's awesome. A leather daddy in that, isn't he?
He is like Al Pacino, fucking leather daddy in the movie.
Who is?
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino's a leather daddy.
He's like an undercover cop.
I love it.
Who goes to investigate a series of murders that are pinpointed against like gay males. So he dresses as like a leather daddy and goes undercover. It's pretty fucking
That's
awesome.
hot.
And like what else did I watch? Like I just recently got really into TJ Hooker. I bought, like, seriously, guys, like I bought the season 1 and 2 on DVD, and when I finished it, I was actually sad that I didn't have any more.
Like it's done?
That show is.
Yeah.
How many seasons were there?
5. I want to say there's 5, but Heather Locklear, she doesn't really show up that often in the first season, but there's a lot of episodes that are actually directed by William Shatner.
That's
and those are like the more like intense ones. But I didn't know what to expect when I started it, and then once I started it, I was like, I just blasted through it and couldn't believe how much I fucking loved that show. And I was sad that there wasn't any more to watch.
You know what? I just want to, like, I want everyone to fucking see this image. So Dave and I were watching, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. It's going to come to me. Anyways, Ray Liotta shows up, and like now kind of thing, like 2020 Ray Liotta, that man looks literally identical to William Shatner now. I'm not fucking kidding you. Dave and I stood and we were like watching the TV and Dave's like, that's William Shatner. I'm like, no, that's Ray Liotta. And then Dave's like, that's Ray Liotta. And I'm like, no, that's William Shatner. And like we went back and forth, look, like Google him whenever you get a chance, because Ray Liotta's aged in like this really bizarre way, and it almost looks like he had work done.
Oh,
like,
probably.
His is like much pushed back into his face. Like
it's like fat, like it gets wider, right?
Yeah, down here, but it kind of pushes back. And I was like, I don't know if I want to meet him anymore.
Did you see him in Hollywood or something, Morgan?
I saw him it was in New York, and it was on Broadway. We were like driving by where all the like,
and you were like, hey, it's Ray Liotta.
I was like, it's Ray Liotta. That's fucking awesome.
What have you been watching, Morgan?
And this was like the early 2000s, so he still looked okay, I guess. He didn't look like a troll
nose anymore.
He's sexy.
Tell us about a movie you've been watching, Morgan.
A movie I've been watching. All right. Well, I want to talk about Metamorphosis, because that's a movie that the cover is incredibly nostalgic for me, but it's one of those movies that like I felt like I thought I had seen, but once I started to watch it, I was like, I don't think I've seen this before. And I was like, okay, this movie is hilarious. It's kind of low budget. It's from 1990. It stars Jean LeBrock, who's literally done nothing else. But he kind of gave me like a little bit of like young Tom Cruise vibes. So Megan, you might be interested in that. Like he was pretty attractive, and like, you know how like young Tom Cruise had that like he's got the crazy eyes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, he's like always like he's got that fucking wacky stare. So he kind of gave me that, but it's kind of sci-fi-ish. It kind of gave me like a little bit of like The Fly type idea, where he's of course like a handsome womanizing geneticist who is working on The Secret of Life.
You don't hear that often.
Yeah, no, right? Of course. Yes.
He's can you repeat that?
I said he's a handsome womanizing geneticist.
Only in Hollywood.
Of course, because if you're a geneticist, then you can get away with women.
Right? No, and he totally is. So yeah, he's working on an experiment where he's trying to I guess like prolong life and like give everlasting life. And they show a lot of like scenes of him like doing shit on like rabbits and monkeys and whatever. And of course, movies like this, it's always like, oh, well, he loses funding. The board that's like giving him his funding are like, well, you're not producing the results that we want to see. So we're going to cut your funding. And he, you know, he's like, fuck that. I'm going to go and inject myself with this fucking awesome stuff.
Yeah, the cover, it's like a 3D cover with like a needle.
Yeah, he's got like his head in like a brace or whatever. And like there's a scene in the movie where like there's like a, you know, like a like fucking Fire in the Sky, the needle that comes towards the eye, and it's like, and it fucking, it's awful. So the reason why I really wanted to talk about this movie was because like up until like that point, it's like, okay, so like, where is this going? Like, you know, it's going to be like a monster movie. And of course, you know, he injects himself and he's like, I feel great. I feel amazing. I can do all these things. And then it's like, oh, I'm starting to not look so good. And I'm starting to not feel so good. And he goes out and like, you know, like beats up a prostitute. Fly? Yeah, kind of. It is exactly like The Fly, pretty much. So yeah, like, of course there's like a lot of like, I love it because there's a lot of science kind of gobbledygook in it. Like, you know how they always like make up terms and stuff, like, you know, in Rotor where it's like, oh, is there a very good vibration to its molecular tonality?
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean while that robot's like doing its fucking Tai Chi and shit? So I love that kind of stuff. Anyways, so eventually he starts to change. He starts to morph. And the one guy that's on the board of directors, that's also, I guess, a scientist, like, they go to see him in the hospital and he's like, he's got like a monster face and all this stuff. And he explains like, oh, well, we figured it out. Like, he's not improving his cells or anything like that. Like, his DNA is not regenerating. He's actually devolving into a previous evolutionary form of humans that has been millions of years old. So we don't know what he's going to be like. So that idea is kind of interesting, but Okay, you guys need to watch the movie just for the fucking ending, because while I was watching it, I went on IMDb, I was like reading some of the stuff, and I was like, this can't be right. This is absurd. This can't be true. So I'm gonna spoil it for you at the end. So he starts to devolve, like this woman that he was seeing and her son like race to go to the warehouse and lab where he like is trying to like find the cure and all this shit. And it turns out at the big scene at the end, like he's taken on his final form, and like the cops are there, the door like falls down, and he's standing there, and he's a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm not kidding. What? Guys, I'm not joking.
Yeah. What? Okay, I need to borrow this.
No, like, I was like, what is going on?
That could have been so cool.
I know it. No, and that's exactly what I thought. But like, when I was reading the IMDb, I was like, this can't be true, because like people are like, oh, there's, in their reviews, there's spoilers, of course. So I was like, this can't be right. Like, maybe they're talking about a different movie. Like, as I'm watching it.
No, it's real.
Yeah, and the monster effects are really cool up until the end, and it's like I said, like the door falls down and there's like fog and light coming out, and like all of a sudden he steps out and he's like, ah.
Oh my god, okay, I need to watch
He's a fucking T-Rex. I'm not kidding. So apparently we evolved from T-Rexes.
But is he huge, like his same size?
Yeah, because he fit through the door. Yeah.
So he's a 5'7" T-Rex?
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening?
Okay, so but the height, like, yeah, so he is a T-Rex, but he's as tall as a man. He's not as tall as a T-Rex. Is that what you tell us?
Yeah, that's correct. Oh my fucking god. Like, my face
down to the logistics of this T-Rex man.
And no, literally, I was blown away, because up to that point, like, it's a pretty good story, and like, for like low budget, and like the monster makeup was good. Like, while he was kind of changing, he had like these like sharp kind of snaggly teeth, and you weren't really sure where the evolution was going, but then all of a sudden it's like he's in a rubber dinosaur outfit, and it's like,
that sounds amazing.
It would be great. Better if they had him transform into T-Rex and he had like a briefcase and like a trench coat.
Right? Hey guys. Oh my fucking lord. Yeah, no, it was very entertaining. At the end, I actually was like laughing to myself by myself. It was fucking great. Cute. So yeah, that's one movie I watched.
Well, there's one movie that I watched recently, because my friend Rob was amazing enough to do a drop off, and I bought this tape off of a friend, Chris, and Night of the Scarecrow.
Ooh.
Okay, so this movie, Night of the Scarecrow, I'd never seen it before, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, sweet, it's got Bruce Glover.
Okay.
I love Bruce Glover.
Crazy Bruce.
Mid-90s. And I love Scarecrows. Like, Morgan got it for me for my birthday last year, and Scarecrows is pretty dark.
That's a dark movie.
Yeah, and like I've never actually gotten into the realm of the Scarecrows movies. And this one, I was like, okay, this is like a pretty good movie. Like, has like this town that has this like legend about this evil person that like possessed a scarecrow, and it's cursed, whatever, and then the scarecrow like comes back to life, and he has like a mask, like kind of like you don't really see his face, but he has this ability where his like straw can like form an appendage that comes out of like his hand. Okay. I think.
What?
What? But wait, I'm not finished. So then this like appendage like has like the ability to like inseminate people.
What?
What?
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, and like I watched the movie and I put it on my Instagram, and so many people commented, holy shit, the van scene this, the van scene that. And the van scene is like legit fucking bonkers. Like, so there's a scene where there's this couple fucking in this van, and then the guy like goes away to take a piss, and then the scarecrow goes into the van where the girl is still in the van. And there's like a strobe light going and everything, and it's like, super creepy, and his like appendage thing like grows, and it did. Like it looks like it's very phallic, and he
I don't know if I like that.
fucks her in the van, and he even makes these like moaning sounds, like when,
no,
like
no, I don't like that.
And then she gets like pregnant, you know, in a matter
Yeah,
of
like she has a Scarecrow baby.
and then she fucking like her belly like gets huge, and then it's like alien like chest burst scene. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like it's crazy. Like
that sounds like fun.
This movie, Night of the Scarecrow, is like seriously, it surprised me. Like I buy a lot of, you know, tapes and I'll watch them and I'll be like, yeah, there's one good scene, there's two good scenes. Yeah, it's okay. There's like one movie that blew my mind recently was Unmasked, part 25.
Oh yeah, I still have to watch that.
That movie like blew my brain into pieces. Like holy shit. But yeah, Night of the Scarecrow, I was pleasantly surprised by that movie.
Awesome.
I just could not believe that he was like
what year is it?
95, I think.
Okay, so it's 90s. I get it. I think I understand.
That reminds me very much of like a la Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally had that kind of vibe for sure. You know what? Right. You know what? It kind of reminded me of Pumpkinhead too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, yes,
I recommend it. I definitely recommend it. What else did you watch, Megan?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say now that you mentioned it, we rewatched Pumpkinhead because we got that like cool as fuck poster.
I know.
Yeah.
Blankets, but you can see it there. So you know, Dave was like, I kind of feel like a bit of a poser because I have this poster on my wall and I've never seen the movie, and I was like, down. And so he was like, is that Lance Hendrickson? And I was like, you don't even, like, that's not even the best part of the movie. When Lance is not the best part of a movie, you know the movie itself is so fucking good.
Right, because he's incredible.
Incredible. And so we watched Pumpkinhead, and it's another one of those movies, you know, that you know you fucking love. And then but you know you love it, and you love it so much you don't have to watch it all the time.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you do watch it, you're like, oh my God.
It like reinforces your love for it.
Yeah. The special effects in that movie are just like,
I know.
There's something to be said about a creature feature where the creature has that glistening, slimy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when
the creature's the star of the show.
Yeah, when the light hits the creature and instead of it getting lost in the lighting, it glistened. Like it was just, and it's huge, right? That creature is huge, and they could have easily lost it in the shadows, been like, okay, let's not spend a ton of money on Pumpkinhead. We'll just kind of shadow, like make a mold and shadow it. Yeah. And so every kill will just like switch cameras, you know what I mean? Camera angles so they don't, but they didn't. The whole movie is so in your face. Pumpkinhead's in your face the whole movie, and the wit.
It could have been like a dark, like it wasn't a dark creature. Right. Like they went the opposite because they were like, we're so confident in these effects that it's like, it's like kind of almost, it's like a tree frog almost, like kind of like translucent, glistening kind of. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and so
honestly, like I prefer slime over blood. It's funny because like I was going to talk about this in our next episode because we posted that we were going to do Nightmare Part 4, and Screaming Mad George like brings the slime to movies as opposed to blood, and that always had a greater impact on me when I was a kid, personally, like which is why like society is like so fucked up, and like even like
it's pretty slimy.
Yeah, like the slime to me is more, I get like a more like emotional reaction from seeing slime as
I'm so emotional from slime.
What? It's true. Like the Curse 2, like the sequel to the Curse with Will Wheaton, like was my last vlog. And like, fucking Will Wheaton. Screaming Mad George did the effects for that movie too, and it's all fun. There's no blood in that movie, and that movie is disturbing as fuck. Like it's all disgusting fucking mutant snakes.
You know what though? I think on a really real level, like a practical effects level, blood is excuse me. Blood is so easy to fuck up. If you don't do blood right on film, it looks like shit.
That's true. It can look orange, it can look runny, it can look like ketchup.
Yeah. Slime is slime no matter what the fuck. And I love that. Especially that kind of slime where you like stick your hands together and it like.
And it's like,
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Like grilled cheese.
Yeah. Like a
Well, I'm pretty sure like Tom Savini, like he was on the last Joe Bob to talk about like Maniac, and he has like this like special effects school in Los Angeles, and one of the like 101s for like movie making blood is to add green to the blood so that it has like a dark look to it.
Right.
I hate red blood.
When blood is like fucking literally red paint. Like
well, like that's one thing that's very like Italian movies, I find. Like Argento is like a lot of really, really like red, like bright red blood. And like a lot of times they would do that just to like get around like certain like
restrictions, like rated
like because if it looks too real, then they're gonna say, well, you know, you're not allowed to do
too
that.
scary.
Yeah,
like the MPAA are gonna
exactly
cut the movie and all this
shit.
Exactly. Nice.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Do not apologize.
Sorry.
Well, speaking of Joe Bob, I know Megan, you don't have Shudder, right?
I do. I got it now.
Okay.
Oh my
well,
God.
I haven't watched it.
It's really good, and
I watched the show, I mean.
I sometimes will watch, depending on like the movie that they're talking about. Like they did Shopping Mall a couple weeks ago, and it was like fun to see Kelly Maroney on there and everything. But last night, they showed Brain Damage, and I want to talk about brain damage for just a few minutes. And a lot of our listeners have no idea that we actually recorded an episode on brain damage, and it was our very first episode that was a trial run, so we never released it. And now it's funny because like that was actually the first time that I think I watched that movie, but we were so tired. Like we had like a food coma, and it was like our first episode ever. And we just wanted to like test it out, you know, test the waters and like see how it goes. And then, but then we eventually like learned our, you know, craft. And
it took us a long time to get to that point though. Let's be honest, like those first few episodes are painful.
I know, even still, like I like our very first episode, like technically, like Mystics and Bali, like I still get a lot of people like coming to me and telling me that like it's still funny, like it's still a good episode. And I think I listened to like episode 2 kind of recently, and it's hilarious. Like we start talking about dicks in the first 5 minutes.
You know what's Mystics and Bali though? I just want to say real quick, is not an easy movie. Now that I have seen it again. The fact that we chose that for like our technically our like first or second is like really kind of like courageous for us, because that fucking movie is not easy to talk about. It's not
even easy to find. Like we had a hard time. We had to go on like a archive.org website, like an archive organization to like find this movie.
GeoCities website to get information.
Like why didn't we start with like a nightmare movie? Why didn't we start
like something super easy?
Because we are risk takers.
That's right. We don't give a fuck.
But yeah, so Brain Damage, like I remember when we recorded that, and that was like 4 years ago. It was a long time ago.
Guys,
and,
this is like our like.
I know. Yeah. But I feel like I still never really watched Brain Damage and like fully, and I watched it last night on Joe Bob's show, and like holy shit, guys, like seriously, Brain Damage is an awesome movie.
Yeah, no, it's super fucked. I remember the like creepy like the like alley scene with like the dick and everything. That was
there's
super
so
fucked
much
up.
more though. Like, you know, everybody knows Brain Damage like for that scene, and that's the reason why it was like, you know, such a controversial oh my god, I can't talk. Controversial movie at the time, and it got cut and all that stuff. But like there's a bunch of other scenes that are really fucking good. And I was like, you know what? I actually think that this movie would be good for like a live show.
Oh.
I highly recommend that we
rewatch it,
Brain Damage episode 1000%.
Hey, do you know what's pretty funny? I was getting my car fixed, and my mechanic's like, "You like horror movies, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Have you ever seen a movie called The Uninvited about a cat?" And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that's like our second episode.
Yeah.
He's such a normie. I was like, what? That was like our what, 4th episode or something?
Yeah, like super early.
That was like our like 3rd episode.
Yeah.
Because that was, The Uninvited. That was another tough.
I missed that movie, actually. The only thing I really remember from The Uninvited is, like, the part in the truck. When the truck was driving and the cat comes out, like, while he's driving the truck and he crashes it. That's, like, the only thing.
Oh, I don't even remember that part.
I don't remember that.
It's all agony. It's all agony.
Yeah.
Traumatic memories that I've blocked out.
It's like, I don't know. It's really interesting to reminisce about some of our earlier episodes.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to hear that a lot of our fans have, made comments about how they love every single one of our episodes, because I am mortified about some of the shit that I had said. Like, are you fucking kidding me? In some of the early episodes, it's like, that is the stupidest thing.
Oh, who cares?
If I ever reproduced, my grandchildren's children would be able to hear me talk about fucking, like, rim jobs and
like Billy Zane's penis.
Yeah. Oh, but like those were from like the good episodes.
Yeah.
Okay, now that I've had a few drinks and we're talking about this, when you were talking about Richard Gere's penis, I kind of pictured his penis hole doing like this, like a fish out of water, like like gasping for air.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Killer Condom. Have you ever seen Killer Condom, the trauma movie?
Oh, I remember that movie, yeah.
That fucking, like, chomps off penises.
I never
That's
saw
too funny.
that.
Could you imagine in American Gigolo that fucking scene where, like, it's supposed to be all arty and shit, and Richard Gere's just sitting there and his dick just starts going,
gasping for air?
That would be like a Frank Henenlotter movie.
Fucking amazing.
Like a goldfish flopping around on the table.
Right? What the fuck?
That's so funny.
Oh, man. Guys, I miss you.
I know.
I miss you.
Any other movies you guys want to talk about? Like, other than that, like, honestly, I just spend most of the time reading. And the only shows that I'm really kind of, like, up to date with is What We Do in the Shadows, which is, like,
hilarious.
So fucking funny. That show is the best show on TV right now. The last episode was, like, all Colin Robinson based. And I laughed so hard.
The emotional vampire guy.
Yeah, the psychic vampire.
I like that guy. He's fucking hilarious. I haven't seen the second season yet.
Oh my god, it's like that. This most recent episode, the one that just aired this week about Colin Robinson, is the best season so far. And I actually didn't know that guy, that actor, like the way that he got famous was by pranking TV stations, and he would like go on like TV networks to talk about fucking like his yo-yo act, but he would just be like so bad at it, and it would be so awkward. And like there's one like anchor lady that tries to fucking get him to like stop doing the yo-yos and just cut the segment, but he just keeps talking and talking and talking. Like he is the best actor to portray a psychic vampire. Like holy
he's also in The Office for a few episodes.
That's I know him from
Hilarious.
Oh my god.
Isn't the guy from Psycho Cop in The Office too?
Bob Vance Refrigeration.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. I don't know. I love that movie. I was just reminded of it the other day.
Both Psycho Cop movies are gold.
Yeah, that first one though was fucking just like
I know.
He makes the movie. Like his overacting and his like one-liners, and he's just like
you know what?
I love
Psycho Cop is like
it's so good.
The horror like SOV version of an Arnold movie, because like that motherfucker has more one-liners than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah.
It's insane.
It's funny. It's like, you have the right to remain silent. After he's like punched through the guy's mouth or something.
You have the right to remain silent. Shouldn't drink and drive. It's against the law.
Recently, on his newest season, he had Seth Rogen on one, who I think is hilarious. And he's like, so Seth Rogen wrote Superbad when he was 13. A 13-year-old child wrote one of the biggest comedies ever, right? Like, and to think what I was doing when I was 13. Anyways, I digress. So he went through his writing process for writing a comedy at that age. And whenever I think of horror movies like that, with like the one-liners and like the silly, I just imagine how much fun the writers must have had sitting around being like, one-liner. How about this? One-liner.
Yeah.
What do we do next? One-liner.
Basically, like, what are all of the cliches that police officers say? Like, how can we like mix these in to the movie itself?
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if they sat around the table being like, this is gonna be hilarious, or if they sat around the table being like, this is gonna be good, guys. Like, this is gonna be
They're expecting like fucking awards and shit.
Yeah. See you at the Oscars.
Yeah, they're like, Psycho Cop at the Oscars. Oh my god. It is fucking funny though. Like, to me, it's more of a...
That guy should get an award.
It's comedy. It is. It's pure comedy. And you can tell that the actor is a comedian. Like, you can tell that's his fucking thing because he's just so over the top. It's amazing.
Morgan, you need to watch The Office.
Oh my god, wait! Wait! You know the guy who plays Troy McClure's voice on The Simpsons?
Yeah, wasn't that Phil Hartman?
Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
Yes, Hartman. So Phil Hartman.
Bless his heart, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Thank you very much. I was just about to do the same thing.
His crazy wife killed him.
Yeah.
Ina, here's a little tidbit that I found out. He created Pee Wee Herman's character. He was a writer, so that's how he made it big. He was a writer. I implore you to research this after. And he created for the actor, I don't know Pee Wee Herman's name.
Oh, Paul Rubens?
Oh, Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
Thank you. He created it. That's his dream child.
That's crazy. I had no
Really?
idea.
And we
So
found
he was
this
involved
out.
in that because I thought Paul Rubens like created Pee Wee.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we had thought, but it was his, like, he wrote it for him.
Interesting.
Like,
Awesome.
and then they ended up working together on it to obviously to elaborate on the character, right? But
Yeah.
I thought that was so, like, just talking of comedians and stuff like that, and I think that Phil Hartman is just such an important, I didn't know.
Oh my god,
but
he brought like such important characters to The Simpsons, and it's just, his story is like crazy because like I kind of want to know like who he really was in real life.
Everything he did on Saturday Night Live was gold too. Like every character that he was on Saturday Night Live, the way that he talked, it was always so fucking funny.
But like, who was he in real life though? Because like, what did he do that like merited more than one wife to try to kill him?
Pardon me, what? More than one?
Yeah, like 2 of his wives tried to fucking kill him, dude. There's something shady going on there.
Yeah.
However,
Well, that's actually that is a very, very good question because maybe he was an asshole.
yeah, who knows?
My mind immediately went to, what's going on with this guy's dick to make 2 women?
Right?
I know, right?
It's going, "Mwah, mwah, 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 mwah."
It's like killer condom, like
Hello, Clarice.
It's like one of those, like, you know, like the fish that like sing, like, take me to the river.
yeah.
Billy Bass, Big Mouth or whatever.
Yeah, it's like usually like a fucking Steve Winwood song or some shit.
Drop me in the water.
And they flip off their
Yeah, and they're like, yeah.
and sometimes they wear a Christmas hat.
Yeah, well, yeah, if people put Christmas hats on them. I can't believe those were a thing. Like, that's like such a like truck stop shitty fucking.
There was like a Jaws version of that, I remember.
Really?
That'd be cool.
What did he say?
Yeah, I think I used to have it, but I gave it to someone. But
He's like,
yeah, like it played that song,
Yeah.
and the shark like moved the way that
Really?
moves. Yeah.
See, that would be entertaining for maybe 30 seconds, and then you put it in the back of your closet,
That's
and you
why
forget
I
about
got
it.
rid of it.
Guys, I'm done my
It's funny
beer.
anymore. Get out of my house.
This is crazy.
My beer's in my fucking Charlie Brown fucking mug.
Halloween, Charlie Brown.
I hate it. I hate drinking beer out of anything but a beer receptacle.
Oh, you guys are like so good, like putting it in your cups and like caring about like stuff. I'm like, well, I'm just drinking a beer here in my can. Don't look
I
at
guess well, if our video gets flagged, we'll just keep uploading it. Who gives a shit?
anybody that
Law. What are you gonna do?
if you flag this shit, you're a fucking loser. There we go. That's a deterrent right there.
That we posted with dicks on Megan's forehead.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Guys, that really reminded me of something. So I watched, don't ask me why, but I watched that the final Rob Zombie movie with those three people in them.
Three from Hell?
The Three from Hell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piss a lot of
Three
people
from
off,
Heck.
but I'm saying it. It is the worst fucking movie I've ever seen. The writing is
Really?
terrible. The script is terrible. The storyline is terrible. The acting is terrible.
Ooh.
However, that makes me laugh because that one guy, Otis,
Bill Moseley.
Yeah.
Bill Moseley, thank you. He keeps going in every line. He's like, why don't you do that? Motherfucker! Listen here, motherfuckers! And he always says it like that in the whole movie. I'm dying laughing. And he's like seriously trying to kill people. He's like, I'm the devil, motherfucker!
And he's like basically talking like the Tiger King is what you're saying.
Oh, man.
Like every word. Motherfucker!
Motherfucker!
Motherfucker! It was so bad.
I'm shocked that you even tried to, like, that you gave it a shot. Like, good for you. I'm proud of you.
Not even gonna watch it, but like I forever in my brain just admire Rob Zombie as a musician, and that's it.
He puts on a great show, but like I've never really been into his movies.
That's a good show.
None of them, eh? House of a Thousand Corpses
really.
when you were 15?
No,
Come on.
Okay, yes.
No.
When you were
That
15?
I will.
Come on.
I saw it. Like, I remember seeing it, but I also remember, like, being like, this is, like, derivative of many things.
Okay.
I remember feeling...
Like zombie music video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
And
Devil's
it's funny.
Rejects was definitely, like, mature compared to House of a Thousand Corpses, but everything since then has just been, like, is he just, like, trying different things now to, like, test the water?
Yeah. Oh man, I love that. Shit's getting wild.
Together, and we're like so high on energy.
I just want to hang out so bad.
I know. I miss you guys.
Guys, like, honestly, quarantine has been it's been crazy. Like, what a strange world that we live in right now. That's like Yasmina and I, we work at the same office. We essentially do the same job. And it's like so strange that like, it's been almost 2 months. 2 months since we've actually had to like do anything. Like,
and I didn't shave my armpits the entire time, and I shaved them for you guys today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That's how much I care.
I just want to rub my head on your smooth armpits.
Right?
Oh, you know,
all them smooth
that
armpits.
would be a dream come true.
And now I'm kind of surprised that you guys aren't working, in fact, because a lot of my friends who work on the phones are working right now from home.
Well,
yeah, but gym's closed. And
because it's like we work in the fitness industry, right? And
okay,
that's gonna like already gyms are filthy. Like it's, you know what I mean? And so it's only going to be a breeding ground for that, you know, for more issues with that type of thing. So it's like, once it's eradicated, that's when we're probably going to be going back, you know, like we do marketing stuff. We do, you know, for, you know, a large fitness company, and they're probably going to be some of the last to open. So
I agree. And my heart goes out to our listeners south of the border, all of our American listeners. My heart really goes out to you guys, and I hope you guys are keeping sane and safe, and you know,
that's why we're doing this, like, because we want to help out, right? Like, we have a lot of listeners that reached out to us that were basically like, can you do like a virtual episode? And like, granted, like I mentioned earlier, that like recording a full episode while watching a movie just doesn't have the same feel to it if we're not in the same room.
Yeah.
And so we did like a trial run of this like Zoom thing the other day. So we were like, well, let's just do this for now and, you know, see how it goes. And like, I think that people will, you know, appreciate it. So anybody who is like watching or listening, thank you very much. And we'll continue to keep doing this, and like we'll have like more movies to discuss. Like, granted, Megan is still working. Thank you for your service that you're doing.
Yes, thank you, Megan.
Popular.
Megan is in healthcare.
That's right. Yes,
she deserves a medal for all this shit.
Yeah, but we're keeping busy. Obviously, like, I know Morgan's doing a lot of reading too. Like, I have been.
I almost finished like my second Stephen King book ever.
Which one?
Cujo.
Well, Cujo, yes, because Megan, I asked Megan, I was like, what? I have a bunch. I was like, what books? of Stephen King should I read? Because I've plowed through a bunch of books.
Are you loving Cujo though?
I am, but you know what? I almost wanted to text you and be like I think I got like 30 pages in and I wanted to be like, fuck you, bitch, you didn't tell me that this book was gonna be sad. I was gonna be sad for the dog.
Wait till the end.
It's like, they start off and it's like the dog has a fucking personality and it's like there's like parts of it that are from his like perspective and it's like he's just a big stupid happy doggy.
Aww.
And then he starts crying.
And that's why we love horror, because nothing is ever fucking just kosher.
I know,
everything
right?
Ends up dying.
Yeah.
And we love it.
That's the way
Exactly.
that should be in
Yeah, you know what
horror,
though?
'cause it's scary.
I found that I think I'm probably going to end up reading a lot more Stephen King because his books are literally, they are so fluid. Like I've read some really difficult books and
Have you read Tolkien?
No. Well, I have read some Tolkien, but I read The Hobbit.
Holy shit, man. Like, I
Back,
can't believe I fucking got through the Silmarillion. But no, Stephen King is great. Stephen King and Clive Barker and Richard Lehman definitely are like my top 3. And Megan lent me a Stephen King book as well. And like, it was anthology of sorts and The Man in the Black Suit. Like, that story was fucking awesome. And like even Richard Matheson, like I mentioned earlier, like the way that his writing is so morose is just so captivating and has a, you know, like sense of like you feel for the characters. Like you're just like, oh my God, is it like that? You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess, I don't know. I've been watching a lot of like Futurama.
Yeah.
Oh my God, TNG, literally, I'm on like season fucking 5 and like every season has like 25 episodes. Like I've literally watched hundreds of episodes.
I know. TNG.
You know what?
Yes.
I love that
If
shit,
you
though.
can find a way to watch Picard, holy fuck do I ever recommend Picard.
You know what?
Really? Show is so good.
I have Crave and
because I've heard
my Crave runs out. I liked it.
I love it.
I heard that it was bad.
You know what though? I'm so sick of making judgments and deciding what I'm going to watch based on what people have told me.
Yeah.
Because like I said, so many people told me like, oh, Riding the Bullet is like the stupidest Stephen King movie. And I watched it and it's literally one of my favorites. And so I just have learned that like, you know, just because fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry think it's shit.
Yeah. Have you watched The Outsider yet? Megan.
No, with Jason Bateman.
Is he in it? Okay, because I saw that it was on like HBO or whatever, and I was like, okay.
No, I don't watch Stephen King stuff anymore. I just don't because it's, first of all, it's too saturated. The industry is so saturated with King material that I'm just more inclined to enjoy the books, and there's too many opinions. Everyone is first of all, a critic, and everyone's a fucking Stephen King aficionado, which is great because he's talented. However, I find when you get into his movies and his shows that are just fucking coming out, you know, I just think that it's impossible now that you've read Cujo, you know, it's impossible to get all of his little details that he worked so hard on in the books. It's so hard to transfer into.
But you know what's interesting? Okay, Riding the Bullet, the story blew my mind.
Love that.
That when I read that story, I was like, holy shit, I've never seen the movie. But that story was amazing. However, it's funny that you say that because I read 1408 and it was a great story, but I feel like the written version was so much shorter and the movie was more intricate and added these like other details that made it better in a way. Like I love that like he came up with that story, but 1408, the movie, I think was like it's so good. It's so fucking good. But Riding the Bullet, I think you've told me, Megan, that the movie is hated, but you love it, and you recommended that I do watch it.
David Arquette's in it.
But that story.
Who hates David Arquette?
I love him. He's so crazy. Do you remember when he wrestled?
Yeah, isn't that what he like does now? Like he's a wrestler.
What?
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
Yeah, no, he's a wrestler. It's fucking weird.
I don't think he is anymore because I think he got hurt, but like that's random.
Yeah.
He weighs 3 pounds. What do you mean he's a wrestler?
He's a wrestler.
Oh, I love him. That's really precious.
Darling.
Jinx, you owe me a fucking beer.
When I see you, I will give you a beer. Guys,
It was Orson Welles' birthday the other day.
it was.
Happy birthday, Orson Welles.
Bottle.
102, take 2.
The French champagne.
It's true to form. If I don't go pee right now, I'm literally gonna piss on my carpet.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Just don't go away.
Yeah, we're good. Like we've already been kind of chatting for almost an hour. I say, like, let's all like enjoy the rest of our days and take a pee and maybe have some dinner and watch and read whatever we want.
Play Dr. Mario.
It's the end of the world. Let's fucking do it.
Did you? Wait, Yasmina, did you just say unstuff an Oreo? Is that how you're going to spend your night?
I said play Dr. Mario.
Unstuff an Oreo?
So you fucking loser.
Unstuff an Oreo. Help me, I am in hell.
Action, please.
The French champagne has always been celebrated for its...
Man, that's fucking funny.
I guess we'll wrap it up, and
Yeah.
We're going to be releasing an After Dark episode soon. We actually recorded it back in November, but we had some technical difficulties with our video.
1 year later.
Yeah, right.
Like half a year, not really. And but now it's fixed, and I'm able to edit it. So
which is awesome.
That will be coming out shortly after this.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's fucking do this more often. Like, who cares? Let's fucking...
Who does care?
Fucking
Who
do
does?
it.
Who even
Hang out.
cares?
We're adults. We can do what we want.
I love this. I love
Fuck
this,
yeah.
and I love you girls, and I love our fans.
Yeah.
And,
Thanks
I
for
love
listening,
it.
guys.
So-
I love you guys. I miss you. I want to
Yeah, lots
drunk
of
and puke on you guys soon.
Lots of things have happened in the world in the last couple months, and we just wanted to show our faces that we're still around, and we still, cared. We miss you guys, and like, there's, pandemic going on, but there's also lots of other crazy things going on, like Tommy Wiseau getting sued, Elon Musk naming his baby after fucking numbers.
Oh yeah, Tom Cruise and Elon going to space to film a movie.
No, we can't. We mustn't.
Trying to wrap it up.
We can't because it's too much. And look, I don't know if you guys can tell, I have to pee so bad. I'm like,
okay, we're gonna stop filming, and thanks for everybody who watched.
Yeah.
yes.
I was waiting for somebody else to fucking keep talking.
Oh, sorry.
Listen, you're all beautiful, and I love
All
you.
right. Cheers, bitches.
Bye.
Yes,
Love
cheers.
bitches. Cheersy beersies.
Cheers.
We'll be back soon.
Yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
Love you.
ya.
Bye.
Bye.